You cannot run a reliable service on vibes. To know if it's healthy, you have to measure it, how fast each operation is, and how often it fails. That measurement is a service level indicator, an SLI, and it's the foundation of every service level objective you'll ever set. Trellis emits one carefully designed latency metric for it, with exactly the dimensions you need to slice your reliability, and none of the junk that would blow up your costs. For the finale, let's measure. You can't run a reliable service on vibes. You have to measure it. And the measurement that matters most is latency, how long each operation takes, and whether it succeeded. Trellis emits exactly one instrument for it, operation.duration, a histogram recorded in milliseconds, on a meter called Trellis.SLI. Every request through your service records one measurement into it. And crucially, that measurement is tagged with the dimensions you actually slice your service levels by, not high cardinality junk like request IDs. One number measured honestly on every operation. So what are those dimensions? For that matter, operation, which endpoint this was, like get/project/ID, derived automatically from the route template, so you never hard-code it. Outcome, and this one's important, was it a success, a failure on your side, a client error that's their fault, or ignored? CustomerResourceId, who the request was for, the tenant or customer, and location ID, where you're running, the region. On top of those, the middleware adds the HTTP method and the response status code. These are all stable, low cardinality dimensions, exactly what you group an SLO by, and notably, there's no request ID and no timestamp, the things that would blow up your metric cardinality. Wiring it up is a handful of lines. AddServiceLevelIndicator registers it, and you give it a location ID. Here, public, West US 3. You chain AddMvc so the attributes work on controllers, and AddApiVersion so every measurement carries the API version. Then the middleware and placement matters. Put UseServiceLevelIndicator early, before authorization and idempotency, because it records on the way out. Even a request that a later stage short circuits, a failed auth check, an idempotency replay, still gets measured, instead of silently vanishing from your metrics. Then you opt an endpoint in and tag the customer with two attributes. Every operation now reports its latency and its outcome. So why does this one metric matter so much? 3 reasons. 1, it gives you a single, honest latency number per operation, and that's the basis of every service level objective you'll ever write, like 99th percentile latency under 200 milliseconds. 2, the outcome dimension separates your faults from the client's. A flood of 404s from a buggy caller shouldn't dent your reliability score, and because outcome tags client errors separately, it doesn't. And 3, every dimension is stable and low cardinality, tenant, region, operation, never a request ID or a timestamp, so your metrics stay cheap and your dashboard stay fast. One honest signal. And a word of caution, Trellis measures latency and outcome. It doesn't set your targets or count your traffic. That part is yours. And that's a wrap on service level indicators. One latency metric, the right dimensions, the foundation for every SLO you'll set. It's also a wrap on Series 4. We built an enterprise-grade service end-to-end, clean architecture and CQRS to keep the code honest, a pipeline with authentication, authorization, RBAC, ABAC, and hide existence to keep it secure, YEF core conventions, and the transactional outbox to keep its data correct, and observability and SLIs to keep it visible. Every one of those made the default path by the framework, compiler-enforced guardrails for .NET. Thanks for watching the whole series. Subscribe, there's more Trellis ahead. I'll see you in the next one.